Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised. Everyone makes mistakes. But some people are dumb enough to make them on camera. This guy's trying out for the TV show Survivor. Too bad he didn't measure the rope first. A ditzy dancer tries to kickstart his career, but kicks himself in the head instead. This driver puts too much pedal to the metal and becomes a real crash test dummy. A boxer lands his best punch of the night right on the ref's jaw. And a clueless judge learns not to poke around where he's not wanted. These are the most moronic moments you'll ever see. If it's off the wall and it's on tape, then it's all here. It's totally outrageous behavior.
Joe DiCarlo will be on the hit TV show Survivor, if he can survive his own audition. To impress the producers, Joe's going to rappel down a 60-foot rock face. Wanting everything to be perfect, he makes some last-minute adjustments.
I'm rolling.
Unfortunately, his brain's already been voted off the island.
Yeah.
Looks like Joe forgot to measure the rope. Soon, rescue workers arrive to look for survivors and airlift Joe to the local hospital. Joe didn't get on Survivor, but that's okay, because you can't eat rat with your jaw wired shut.
I don't remember being there, rigging up, rappelling, getting hurt, none of it. So the only thing I can figure that happened was that I'd misjudged the amount of slack that I pulled up. I just remember waking up in ICU.
There may not be $1 million check with his name on it, but Joe did prove that no one's granted immunity from gravity. Welcome to the television show Potluck, Australia's answer to Star Search. Perhaps what she should be looking for is a new career. Today on Potluck, we're in luck.
Act 1, 7, 27.
Dancer Todd Rickson is making his television debut. Wanting to look good, he's pulled his favorite shirt out of mothballs. Too bad the moths got to it first.
It was a pretty sexy outfit.
All right, Todd Rickson, act number 6.
Todd takes the stage, ready to become a star. He begins with a moonwalk. Good choice, never seen that before. Then he follows it with a nice spin move, trying to dry off his flop sweat into the mandatory bump and grind. Followed by some more spins, then some classic disco steps. He's right up to date here. Todd's really winning him over. Couple of big kicks. The pants are holding up just fine. And now for his big finish. Todd kicks himself in the head. The stunned dancer tries to continue, but these moves aren't part of the act. Much to Todd's and the audience's relief, the host stops the show.
You've done it, have you? Oh, I think he's done a hamstring there. You all right? Never mind, mate. Well, I think we'll just take a commercial break, I think, and we'll be back after that break and we'll explain what's happening.
When the show returns, the judges confer and decide that Todd's chances of winning are 1 in 50. And that was before his recent head injury. After years of rehabilitation, Todd makes a full recovery.
And then my
See? Good as new. Painting can be a perilous profession when your partner leaves you hanging out to dry. While putting a fresh coat of paint on the Hotel Cass, 18 stories above the Windy City, this painter was suddenly blown off his scaffold. The petrified Picasso hangs on for dear life and calls up to his vigilant co-worker, the one man who can save him. But he's also fallen. fallen asleep on the job. Looks like this hotel guarantees a good night's sleep even on the roof. Unable to wake Sleeping Beauty, the painters left twisting in the wind. Eventually, a crowd gathers below and someone calls 911. But sirens are just a lullaby to this Rip Van Winkle. Soon, firefighters arrive and wake him up. Everyone pulls together to rescue the painter. Everyone except his partner, who's apparently useless before his morning coffee. The painter is eventually rescued, but he's learned the hard way that when you put your faith in others, one man's dream can become another man's nightmare. When amateur exterminators try to build a better mousetrap, they end up instead with a booby trap. Armed with a broom, a bucket, and a brilliant plan, the mouse hunters take their best shot. But rather than landing in the bucket, the furry little critter lands in her bra. Looks like this plan's a bust. Some crooks give a whole new meaning to the phrase, thick as thieves. These convicts are handcuffed together on the way to prison, but they've planned their escape. The chain gang makes a break for it. Too bad they didn't see the pole. Apparently, the left handcuff didn't know what the right handcuff was doing.
Are you gonna give up? I'm bleeding, man. That's too bad. Okay, I'm done. No fault.
The cops rearrest the men.
I'm not going anywhere. Oh, no kidding.
Read them their rights.
You also have the right to be stupid.
And take them back to prison. Looks like these three stooges will never be free from the shackles of their own stupidity.
Coming up next, when this runner gets steered in the wrong direction, he has to hoof it home. And a bumbling boxer lands his best punch and knocks out the ref. Plus, thanks to a barnyard blunder, this farmer almost puts himself out to pasture when totally outrageous behavior continues.
A boxer goes from champ to chump when he takes too many hits to the head. In this corner, from Canada, Willie DeWitt, and his opponent from Cuba, Pedro Cardenas. When it comes to quick thinking, this heavyweight is a lightweight. Fight begins, and immediately the Cuban is getting smoked. Cardenas looks okay, so the ref lets the match continue. But seconds later, Cardenas finds himself in deep trouble. In a daze, the panicked pugilist forgets who he's fighting and punches the referee. The ref takes it on the chin and goes down for the count. He knows when he's beat and decides to throw in the towel. A replacement referee is brought in and round 2 begins. But it doesn't take long before Cardenas is in trouble again. That means it's time for his signature move. Punching out the referee. He's clobbering everyone except his opponent. With no one else willing to step into the ring, the Canadian is declared the winner. But when it comes to boxing blunders, Cardenas will always be the champ. Stan and Diane Fraser's Ursa, Illinois farm is the picturesque embodiment of the American dream. Except for one oversized eyesore. A rundown cement block silo. So for his wife Diane's birthday, Stan decides to demolish the massive structure. But instead of hiring a professional, he decides this crop of geniuses can easily get the job done. Stan ties a chain to the silo and tries to pull it down. So far, the only thing destroyed is his confidence. So Stan decides to knock it over by driving his tractor into the concrete structure. A simple push should finish off the job. Looks Looks like it may have finished off Stan instead. The silo falls the wrong way, bombarding him with bricks and cement. Diane runs to his side. But thanks to Stan's thick skull, he's just fine.
Yeah, I had mortar in my pockets and concrete in my pockets, and part of bricks was in my pockets, and how it ever got there, I don't know.
It is puzzling. This marathon runner is way ahead of the pack, but he has no idea that the race course is about to become an obstacle course. For his opponent to catch up, it would take divine intervention, or bovine intervention. Apparently, the Einstein who planned this race didn't realize the bulls were having a marathon of their own. Forget the finish line. These guys are running for their lives. It's the runner's fastest time yet. Too bad he's going the wrong way. When this cop pulls over a speeding driver, he's the one who's busted for stupid behavior. During a routine traffic stop, Arkansas State Trooper Jackie Clark returns to his cruiser to retrieve his ticket book. But the man in blue quickly turns beet red. His ticket book's locked inside, along with his keys. Let's hope he didn't leave his gun at the donut shop. Looks like this lucky lawbreaker is about to get a break, as the embarrassed officer has to ask him for a lift back to the station.
Tell you what I do. I'll write you a warning. You give me a ride over in my headquarters. Will you do that for me?
But how's he going to explain this to the chief?
Write my keys in my car. I'm crazy.
So the driver prepares to speed away, with the cop riding shotgun.
This new car? No, it's even mine. Oh, this is...
And Officer Clark learns a lesson he'll never forget.
I hadn't locked my keys in the car again since that day. No, I take that back. Since that day, I have locked my keys in the car. I keep an extra key often now.
Write my keys in my car. I'm crazy.
While waiting for a plane, this man got stuck on the phone. Well, actually, in the phone. Instead of checking his bags, he was checking for loose change. Now the penny pincher is about to miss his $800 flight. Apparently, the captain has turned on the no thinking sign. Workers arrive to remove the phone from the wall. But he's still stuck, and the phone's too big for carry-on. They try sawing and hammering. But this screw-up is still stuck. So the airport personnel take the frustrated flyer outside and try to drill some sense into him. But just as they're about to finish the job, the smooth operator almost loses his dialing finger. Finally, his hand is free. And this tardy traveler is cleared for takeoff. His ticket may be coach, but his stupid behavior is first class.
Coming up next, you'll be floored by this driver's stupid behavior.
Oh, no!
Plus, a celebrity hunk goes on a talk show and gets hit on. And later, an Olympian gets a penalty for needling the judge. When totally outrageous behavior continues.
Britain's most bumbling bank robber enters a bank, approaches the teller, and demands all their cash. But the teller quickly triggers a security shield and sounds the alarm. The robber tries to flee, but he's trapped. So he pushes the door. He smashes the door. He does everything but pull the door. The confused crook dashes out, realizing his mistake. The bank robber is withdrawn from society. and deposited in the local prison. When it comes to stupid behavior, this Russian pop singer is off the charts. Oleg Gazmanov is the special guest on one of Russia's most popular talk shows. With such hits as Chubby Little Boys and Fresh Wind, it's no wonder Oleg is a superstar. That's not why he's on the show today. He's here to talk about his recent blunder. At an outdoor concert, Oleg steps up to the mic and into a puddle. It's truly an electrifying performance. The shaken Soviet goes down like the Berlin Wall. When Oleg recovers, he appears on live morning television to describe his shocking ordeal. But he steps in it again by choosing to sit in this chair. It's the singer's biggest hit yet. A bookcase crashes down on Oleg's head as the talk show hosts look on in horror.
Ой-ой-ой. Нет? Не сильно? Да. Да, это да. Нужно кого-то позвать. Господа, помогите. А мы сейчас посмотрим рекламу.
The director cuts to a commercial for borscht while the pop star tries to recover. It would appear someone is trying to put an end to Oleg's singing career. Maybe someday they'll succeed. This driver wanted a car that could take a beating on rough roads, so he bought an old junker for $25. Disappointed by the car's lousy pickup, the determined driver puts the pedal to the metal and is floored by the car's sudden burst of power. Now he's really flying.
Oh! Yeah! Oh, no! Oh, God!
Looks like this rocket scientist forgot his physics. An object in motion remains in motion.
Yeah! Oh, no!
And a brain at rest remains at rest. After accidentally wrecking his new car, you'd think he'd be crushed. But amazingly, he escapes with just a few scratches.
What a horrendous crash.
In the future, all cars will fly. This guy's just ahead of his time.
Oh! Yeah! Oh, no!
Instead of a Valentine's Day wedding, Jay and Michelle Deacon make the mistake of getting married a day early, on Friday the 13th. Wanting to avoid a pricey church wedding, these two lovebirds decide to exchange vows at a local radio station.
And I now pronounce you man and wife. Woo! All right! All right, it is done.
And now it's time to celebrate in style.
How about if we go let some balloons released in the air to celebrate their love? You want to help me release some balloons?
All right, he's shaking his head yes.
The crowd gathers in the radio station's scenic fairy tale-like parking lot. First, they move into the perfect position.
Go on that side over. Okay. Oh, go on that side over.
Then, as a symbol of Jay and Michelle's everlasting love and years of future happiness together, they look to the heavens and release the balloons.
Holy we can take that one way or another.
Maybe, instead of looking to the heavens, they should have looked at these 10,000-volt high-tension power lines.
We got our tan before we went on our honeymoon to Hawaii.
We never went on a honeymoon to Hawaii.
Well, sounded good.
Jay and Michelle may not have made it to Hawaii, but since the explosion knocked out power to 3,000 homes and businesses, at least they had a nice, dark, romantic wedding night.
All right.
Coming up next, a nearsighted judge takes one for the team when totally outrageous behavior continues.
Finnish athlete Juha Laukkanen has dreams of Olympic glory. But there's one thing standing between him and a gold medal: the judge. Oh, there goes that Wheaties contract. With the entire field to choose from, the oblivious official picks the worst possible spot to stand. Good call. The skewered judge makes a full recovery, but his friends still poke fun at him. Asked if he learned his lesson, he said, "I think I got the point."
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised. Everyone makes mistakes, but some people are dumb enough to make them on camera. When a foolhardy fisherman jabs at Jaws, he becomes the catch of the day. This man's waiting for a plane. Now he's waiting for a doctor. These butterfingered pallbearers send Grandpa to his final resting place, the parking lot. These are the most moronic moments you'll ever see. You'll laugh if it's off the wall and it's on tape. Then it's all here. It's totally outrageous behavior.
It's another police pursuit on a Los Angeles freeway, but nobody's ever seen one like this before. This suspect's guilty of stupidity in the first degree. Instead of speeding away, this dopey driver slows to a crawl.
Hey, Larry's slowing way down. He's almost stopped.
His car's out of gas, and he's also running on empty.
I think this guy just finally figured out there was somebody behind him after all this time.
Rather than flee on foot, this quick thinker decides to get out and push.
Hey, Larry, if you see this guy got out of his car and he's pushing it.
With cops all around, he's also pushing his luck.
I think this thing's going to be over here shortly.
Wanting to avoid a confrontation, the amused officers decide to let the man tire himself out. When he tells the cops to back off, they tell him to take a hike. But first, he sits down for a quick break. And then he's ready to roll again. But it's a little harder from a dead stop. Soon, push comes to shove and the police take him down. This guy will be pushing 60 before he gets his license back. Welcome to one of Europe's cheapest amusement parks. And here's their top attraction, the Whirlwind, which costs more to ride than it did to build. The frugal park owners decided to dispense with unnecessary luxuries, like seatbelts. So these fun seekers are holding on tight. Except for this guy, who foolishly decides to let go. Pretty soon, the whirlwind starts to whirl, tossing our daredevil out of his seat and onto his head. searches in vain for something to grab onto. But forget the rail. He can barely hold on to his lunch. The man continues to tumble out of control. But eventually, he gets a grip and spends the rest of the ride trying to hold on to his self-respect. Maybe the park should post a sign that says, "Your IQ must be this high to ride." Good thing this reporter is holding an umbrella, because his judgment is clouded. No news is bad news when you're trying to impress your boss. So TV journalist Richard Wyatt gets up close and personal while filming this air show. Unfortunately, he's standing right in the drop zone during a target bombing demonstration.
You're going to be more than about 30 feet above the head then.
But instead of calling it a day, the eager reporter dusts himself off and prepares to shoot another take. He gets back in position as the plane makes another approach. Looks like this is going to make a great shot. A shot in the head.
What is it, Richard?
Wyatt's pretty banged up. But then again, so's the plane. He's taken to the hospital on a wing and a prayer. But the show must go on, and the resilient reporter still makes the evening news.
Apart from a bit of bruising and I think a black eye for a couple of days, I'm going to be fine. It's very kind of you to take an interest in me, and at the same time, can I just thank the nurses and doctors here for patching me up as they have. Got to stay in overnight, but hopefully I'll be back to work pretty shortly. Thank you.
Luckily, this hard-nosed journalist was hard-headed, too. A group of fishermen set sail off the coast of Louisiana. They've got clear skies, smooth water, and empty heads. Things are going well until one of the men baits his hook
Wait, go get the scissors out my drawer.
with his own hand.
It hurt. I mean, this thing hurt, man.
Thankfully, there's alcohol nearby to disinfect the wound. With the hook deeply embedded in his knuckle, naturally he's concerned about his glove.
It's my good glove. It's a new glove.
So far, the hook is the sharpest thing on this boat. The men continue on and before long spot a shark. And the battle of wits begins. The men struggle to reel in their prize.
You big, stupid-looking bastard, you.
Always a sucker for a compliment, the shark stops playing hard to get.
Right, look, dead as they come, too, boy. Just pick up his nose.
But looks can be deceiving. So to find out, one of the fishermen takes matters into his own hands.
Oh, get him off of it.
Now he's the catch of the day.
Give me that pry bar.
Hurry up.
It takes a crowbar to open these jaws.
Pry him open.
The misguided mariner finally frees himself. He's lost some blood, but more importantly, another glove.
I thought that son of a bitch was dead.
Well, I thought the shark was dead, and she was sitting on the deck for a good half hour. But I guess it wasn't.
After the incident, the injured angler compares hand wounds with Captain Hook, and both men agree that it's time to...
Do it again, Jim. That was fun.
Jaws was playing possum, and the fisherman fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Coming up, a bumbling belly dancer lights up more than the stage. And what's the last thing you should wear to a bullfight? A red shirt. Plus, why is this engineer destroying every single car on his train? Find out when totally outrageous behavior continues. Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
These pallbearers are about to make a grave mistake. The eulogy is over, and their recently departed loved one is going to his final resting place. The bottom of the stairs. Now it's the pallbearers who are dying. Of embarrassment. When robbing a store, a ski mask is the perfect disguise, as long as you remember to put it on first. When this hoodlum realizes his mistake, he tries to cover up the evidence, his crooked face. Holding his gun, he struggles with one hand to position the eye holes. Eventually, blinded by his own stupidity, he gives up. But thanks to the security cameras, the police arrest him anyway. He couldn't pull the wool over their eyes either. Dressed in a grass skirt, this hula girl is doing a dance called the shake and bake. The audience boos her, so in protest, she burns her bra. Now they're cheering. But it's hard to keep the beat when your maracas are on fire. Maybe next time she'll try a rain dance. These firemen aren't responding to a blaze. They're responding to a blunder. When a 26-year-old woman realized she'd locked herself out of her house, she decided to play Santa Claus and shimmy down the chimney. Now she's stuck, and everybody's staring in disbelief. When the firemen finally hoist her out, they discover she's not only lost her keys, she's lost her blouse. Sure beats pulling a cat out of a tree.
Good thing she was fatigued.
The fireman gives the topless woman his jacket and helps her down to a waiting ambulance.
I don't want to go to hospital. Okay, we'll check you out and we'll
I swear. I can't afford it.
But her plans to avoid the hospital also go up in smoke. She's on her way for a quick checkup. Perhaps the first thing they should do is have her head examined. This crook's behavior is so stupid, it's criminal. It's a typical night at the local convenience store, until a rifle-toting robber comes through the door. And he's not going to let anyone stand in his way. While the clerk opens the register, the crook decides to help himself to an impulse item, this man's wallet. But apparently, this master criminal doesn't know robbery rule number 1. Don't put down your gun. The quick-thinking clerk seizes the opportunity as the forgetful fellow dives for his gun. Meanwhile, this brave bystander makes a hasty retreat. With the tables turned, the loser is on the lam, and the angry clerk is hot on his trail. Maybe next time, the forgetful felon will remember the store's motto: we aim to please. This train engineer puts the loco in locomotive. His train was chugging along when the computerized routing system accidentally sent it down the wrong track. And now this engineer's in a tight spot. But does he stop and wisely wait for help to arrive? No, he keeps going, full speed ahead. Unbelievably, he's crushing every single car on the train. Certainly he'll stop now. Certainly not. A crowd of locals gathers to see what's going on. They stare in disbelief as the engineer drags the entire train beneath the bridge before finally deciding to stop. The stunned railroad crew gathers to assess the damage. Just when it looks like the engineer is back on track, he puts the train in reverse and drags it right back under the bridge. All aboard! Next stop, the unemployment office. This man's actions caused an estimated $1 million in damage, suggesting that he sure could use a swift kick in the caboose. It's an amateur bullfight in Saragossa, Spain, where anyone in town can take the bull by the horns. While most of these guys are smart enough to stay out of harm's way, this mixed-up matador decides to run into the ring wearing, of all things, a red shirt. And he soon finds himself on the horns of a dilemma. Now he's definitely in over his head. Instead of proving his manhood, he's trying to cover up his manhood. The man escapes with his life, but leaves his pants and his dignity behind. As the bull struts by the fans doing his victory dance, the bare-bottomed bullfighter slinks away, red from embarrassment.
Up next, a goofy gatecrasher locks himself behind bars. And what happens when your fridge can't fit through the window? You go on a crash diet. Then later, when an 8-ton whale washes up on shore, the town's plan to remove it blows up in their faces. When totally outrageous behavior continues.
Police are responding to a case of breaking and almost entering. In order to avoid paying this arcade's admission charge, this 18-year-old gatecrasher tried to sneak in through the exit. Oh, yes, it is. This is a one-way turnstile. His head is trapped. Don't worry, he wasn't using it today.
Help!
An arcade worker tries a drill, but what this kooky kid needs is a head shrinker. The men try to free him, but unlike some people, the turnstile doesn't have a screw loose.
Is there one on the other side?
Eventually, he's able to breathe a sigh of relief.
There you go. Great. I'm free, man.
Not so fast. There's still the little matter of the law, but the cop lets him go, figuring he's already spent enough time behind bars.
Thank you. I love you.
And the admission charge he was trying to avoid? A whopping $2. At this motorcycle race, things are about to take a turn for the worse. This biker can't make it over the last hill. In fact, it seems no one can. Evidently, it never occurred to the genius who designed the course to test out the track before the race. Now these motorcyclists want to throttle him. The competitors struggle to continue on, but crossing the finish line will be an uphill battle. It appears the only winner today is the local body shop. Instead of hiring professional movers, these guys decide to save a few bucks and do it themselves. But when their new refrigerator is too big for the door, they decide to try the window. Now they're about to make a chilling discovery. When the appliance surprisingly doesn't fit, they realize they need to approach things from a new angle. So the group harnesses their brain power. Too bad they didn't harness the fridge. It obviously didn't fit through his window either. These guys may have destroyed their fridge, but at least this experience will give them food for thought. Some people will do anything to lose weight. Anything except diet. Like this woman. She puts on a cheap weight loss belt and plugs in. Looks like she got her wires crossed. She breaks the circuit, but the gut-wrenching girdle continues to emit a charge. Her little brother must be used to her stupid behavior because this light show doesn't even spark his interest. Maybe next time, instead of electrical power, she'll try willpower.
Coming up next, Thar She Blows. It's the most outrageous moment ever caught on tape.
The residents of Florence, Oregon wake up one morning and discover something smells fishy. A dead 8-ton, 45-foot humpback has washed up on the beach. And now they've got a whale of a problem. Town officials decide the beast is too big to cut up or haul away. But luckily, George Thornton has a plan, and it's dynamite. He's going to blow this big ball of blubber to bits. Brilliant! He figures the tiny fragments will be blown out to sea, and these eager seagulls will take care of the leftovers.
Well, I'm confident that it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure just exactly how much explosives it'll take.
He's not sure because no one's been crazy enough to try this before. A small crowd of whale watchers gathers as the demolition experts get to work. Once the whale's packed with dynamite, policemen move the spectators to a safe distance. And there she blows.
All right, Fred, you can take your hands out of your ears. Here comes
After the explosion, chunks of burning blubber rain down from above as the people flee in terror. Behind this cloud of smoke, huge slabs of whale meat fall from the sky, bombarding the sleepy seaside village. A 200-pound whale steak destroys Walter Umenhofer's car, parked a quarter of a mile away. As every designated driver knows, there's nothing worse than having someone blow chunks in your car. But after all this, instead of being blasted into bird food, most of the whale carcass is still intact. And the seagulls can't eat the remains because they've all been scared away. As officials assess the damage, the townspeople bury the rest of the whale and their heads in the sand.